There is only one religion in the world, and it is the religion of self. Since there are many selves in the world, we will fight to the end until only one self remains. When this occurs, the last remaining self will do something completely radical by suddenly changing the religion of self into the religion of others. And I hope I'm not the last remaining self. People think that if only one religion dominates the world, that all of our problems will magically solve themselves and there will be world peace. This couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I believe our problems will become magnified. We will always pursue power position using discrimination as a means to attain it. Think of it in terms of race. If there were only white people, eventually we would value one skin tone above others, and eliminate the rest, then maybe hair color and eye color, etc. It will go on until only one person remains, and then loneliness, and the consolation for that loneliness will be gone with no way to reverse the elimination. We would be all alone with all of our discriminations, and that's what we're competing for. That's the top prize. Now, we all discriminate, and religious discrimination is no different from any other. But the only religion we follow is the religion of self. And when asked what religion we are, we should just state our full name and leave it at that. The only reason we don't is because there is power and strength in numbers. Religion is like any other marketplace, and it is saturated with competition, and so an alliance promotes survival, and yes, even atheists participate. I have no problems with sincerely held beliefs, but when those beliefs dictate and promote the destruction of others simply because they're different, that's where I draw the line. People will say that they are against the killing of the innocent, but who decides who's innocent and who's guilty? And by what laws do we decide who's guilty and who's innocent? A man steals a piece of fruit because he's hungry and has no money or job. How quickly do we rush to cut off his hand? Not to mention that no one despises a person who steals to satisfy their hunger. No, I think we like cutting off hands. We enjoy it. Just another way to discriminate. Are we even interested in what led this man to such poverty and how our own actions are relative to his own? Are we even interested in examining the infrastructure of our systems that contribute to theft by way of heavy taxation and corruption in high places? Yes, stealing is wrong, but religion will never examine the grays of life. Religion is only interested in black and white, and right and wrong, and no one is innocent in that mindset. If no one is innocent, then every discrimination and elimination is fair game for the religious. We love listening to people who lived thousands of years ago, whether what they have to teach is relevant or not. And yes, many of the teachings are timeless, and I value that, but others are antiquated and useless. When a religion commands you to violate the rights and choices of others, especially by taking their lives from them, then I am in opposition to that. Not even God violates our rights and choices. No, I think we naturally discriminate, and we need no help from God to do so. But as long as we can attribute that to God, we have a platform, and we can shake our fists. Whether we are born into religion or choose our faith freely, we align ourselves with religion to use it as a platform to do what it is in our nature to do, eliminate the competition. We use it as a platform to shake our fists at what we discriminate against, and we enjoy the privilege of calling ourselves righteous in doing so. When we do that, we throw our religion in the sewer, and ourselves along with it. Religion is about cultural ascension, and the more we ascend, the more we claim to be blessed. And it is ascension at any cost, and we will discriminate the whole way there. But it is not an ascension to the realms above. I am completely certain of that. What if I told you that I was going to say something today, and 2,000 years from now, I will expect your future generations to obey my words or die? How reasonable would it be for me to tax the beliefs of people 2,000 years from now, even if I did speak truth? How reasonable would it be if I taxed their behaviors and forced them to discriminate on my behalf to the point of killing others just to uphold my beliefs about truth? Well, as it is, I do want to say something to people for the next 2,000 years, and here it is. Whether you trust in the law and ethics or religion and morality, I want you to imagine a world where you are the only person that exists. What do you suppose would be the law or religion that you cling to? Would it not be first and foremost a belief that steers you in the direction of personal safety and protection? In fact, could it not be argued that there would be no belief except the belief you impose upon yourself, regardless of whether that belief is based in ethics relating to the law or morality relating to a particular religion for that matter? And again, whatever you impose upon yourself, would it not be likely to promote your survival? Because we are not the only person in existence, and there are many of us, should we not afford to each other what we are so willing to afford to ourselves? Is not the law and religion something that is universally true to us all? No matter the law or religion, if it does not promote the safe passage of our fellow man, can we rightly call it beneficial? Consolation is my religion and my law, and that would not change even if I was the last person on earth. Why should it be any different amongst many? The law and ethics exist to govern social interactions between people that desire a community, and we need that because of how many of our beliefs are in conflict with others based on the human alchemy of experiences. In other words, no two people are the same or ever will be. The law does not exist to govern faith, nor does faith exist to impose law. They exist to point us towards what we mutually agree upon as right and wrong, or humane and inhumane, in our mutual safe passage. This is how we arrive at what we call civilization, and in no way should an effort be made to undermine that. In order for any civilization to emerge, there needs to be an engine that creates community. Whether those communities be based on ethics or morality, they must be contingent upon common benefits, not the least of which is life or freedom or safety or choice, etc. The same things that we would afford to ourselves if we were the only person on the planet. The law and religion are not difficult things to comprehend. Simply put, you cannot violate the rights and choices of others. As I said earlier, God doesn't even do that. You cannot present yourself as a danger to self and others, otherwise you forfeit your rights and choices. You take responsibility for your life and actions. More than any political, schematic, or religious view should be our pursuit of what it means to internalize these simple notions and behave responsibly and accordingly. Anyone that does these things need not fear judgment or condemnation, and if someone takes these actions against you, you may rightly claim persecution. All religion exists on the foundation of hope and the possibility of finding consolation for the suffering that exists outside civilization, and being that consolation for others, not to exploit the greatest loves, fears, hopes, and dreams that make up our greatest vulnerabilities, or to become the very danger that civilization first sought to rescue us from. We think that our religion and law is saving the world, but have we considered that the only way to save the world is to save it from ourselves? Have we ever once asked ourselves what it must be like being on the receiving end of ourselves? Or what it would be like to drink from the cups we forced others to drink from? Is not the greatest justice and the greatest reward that we drink from our own cups? Would we reconsider our actions in the world if that were the reality we actually faced? With that said, the time has come to mature and to grow and develop to a greater understanding of what community and civilization have to offer, and remember that religion and the law were always meant to uphold a society where a consolation could be found to assuage our suffering, and yet how difficult it is to find. Right now, as things are, there really is only one religion, and it is the religion of discrimination. It is the religion of self, and it is radical and extreme. We will fight to the end, until only one self remains if we continue down this path. We are all such extremists, such radicals, so certain of our positions, so against any form of compromise, and I ask, where is our protest and dissent away from savagery more cruel than what we find in nature? If radical extremism is the remedy, then allow me to suggest something truly radical. Instead of letting hindsight be 20/20, let's for once allow that to be our foresight instead. And whatever outcomes the future has in store for us, if we are leading ourselves to a destiny where only one self remains, I hope I'm not the last remaining self. Take care.